And I am pleased to announce that the other segment that I watched on this program, once again, a wrestling match broke out in the middle of a sea of insanity. FTR is now not only 2-0 for their record in AEW, but is also 2-0 for their record in actually having good matches that make sense. Imagine that. And it, by the way, they show their record. FTR's record better stay whatever and 0 for quite some time, or I'm going to completely give up, because they can't get talent on this level on a regular basis just every week or two. They better try to take care from now on of what they get, because they've pretty much buried what they've gotten so far. But this, and I was excited to see this because I've been a fan of Frankie Kazarian and Chris Daniels, and I've said this ever since this television show's been on the air. I don't like their Sgt. Pepper outfits and their fucking catchphrases and all the silly entertaining stuff that they have had added to them, but they're two of the best workers in the ring, in the business, and I was excited to see this, and I was not disappointed, because I've not actually seen, maybe I have, or maybe it was just we were grading on the curve and it just didn't seem so bad, but have we seen a good Kazarian and Daniels match? Is this the only company in history that Kazarian and Daniels have worked in for any length of time and we haven't really seen a good one? Because it's their opposition.
We've seen good Kazarian and Scorpio Sky matches.
That's
I think
true.
This was easily the best Chris Daniels has looked in AEW by far.
Well, and it's and I'm not, now everybody's going to be out there saying, now Cornette's saying FTR carries everybody. No, it's just in this, Kazarian and Daniels actually got a chance to show what they can do. Because if you're a world-class ping pong player and you're playing another world-class ping pong player, that ping pong looks pretty fucking impressive. But if you're a world-class ping pong player and you're playing a game against your drunk cousin's fucking girlfriend, it's still the shits, because you got nobody to work with. So this was at another level in the ring from the time the bell rang. Timing, work, body language, movement, execution. They start out wrestling. They built to the tempers flaring. And this was the best part of it. They had a break spot. And you know, every break spot is, a big dive. Oh my gosh. And they're laying there. They actually made a break spot work. It can be done. They wrestled. The tempers flared. They got in a fucking double hockey fight, a Pier 6 brawl. Then they both took separate but logical and different big bumps to the floor on either side, and all four guys are down. And now we go to the break. A break spot that actually worked. Oh shit, what's happening? I want to see more of this. Not, oh shit, that came out of nowhere and now everybody's laying there again. So they got that right. Came back and they were already in action. They're getting, here's the thing. AEW's entire babyface and heel dynamic roster is completely fucked up. And you do not know at first sight, at first glance, you don't know instantly, you don't know naturally who the babyface and heels are. So now they go in a goddamn situation where they're actually, SCU is getting heat on FTR, which is, they can all do this. And FTR worked his face, and they can all sell, and they can all be heels, and etc. But here's another thing. If they started now, by the end of the year, they may have been able to rectify. They've had 9 months on television, and they've blown it. If they started now, which they won't, and they did it right, which they can't, then by the end of the year, we could know definitively who a heel and a babyface is, everybody on the roster. But they'd have to have somebody show them, and they ain't got that. So, overlooking the fact that FTR are working as babyfaces, finally, Cash gets a fucking hot tag to Dash, and that was nice too. And Dax makes a great comeback. Everything was sharp right there, no wasted motion. Threw in the slingshot suplex, the homage to Tully Blanchard. Then they go into their back and forth, and they do some double team stuff. Everything was in place. I wasn't a fan of the double knockout and then the second simultaneous tag. I was not a fan of that particular spot in there. I thought it brought it down a little bit. But once again, all these guys know what they're doing. And Frankie and Daniels just hadn't had the chance to do it with anybody because nobody else could go with them. I love the way they foiled SCU's double team into the Vegematic. I might have to write down some notes and send them to FTR on the Vegematic because there was a couple of little small things nobody else would have noticed. But the camera shot, they shot the Vegematic from above. That's the only angle it doesn't look good from. Then they get a great reversal of their superplex splash double team. So it go more back and forth. Everybody's still there. Nobody fucked up. Good twists and turns. And then finally, right as they're going, this was music, actually. This was visual music. Immediately, right as they float, they do another move and float right into where Dax has a headlock on Daniels, and right as Daniels backs him up to shoot him off, and they're floating into this anyway, just so smooth. There was a blind tag by Cash and Dax. If you will notice, some people would think that it was a backslap tag, but it was bad camera angle. But if you notice, as soon as Dax grabs the headlock on Daniels and Daniels backs him up to shoot him off, this is the way it's supposed to be done, and they did it perfectly. When you back a guy up to shoot him off, his right arm goes over the top rope and his hand rests on the top, right, Brian? You see that constantly. That's the way you keep the rope from going over the back of your head.
Yeah.
Right there is where the partner on the apron slaps the hand. Boom, when the hand is still so they don't miss. The hand's on the top rope. Boom, he slapped it. Daniel shoots Dax off. Cash is the legal guy. Watch it in slow motion, and you'll see it. And they do the duck, boom, and into the Goodnight Express. 1, 2, 3. They went all the way through this, and I didn't see any fuck-ups. Once again, a brilliant in-ring performance. A team got over. The team that lost still looked better than they ever have in losing because they actually had great opposition. And this is what, if you get talent, they can do. And the whole thing made sense. Nothing was insulting. Nothing was stupid or silly. Nobody was winking anybody. Nobody stood around waiting to cooperate and catch people. It's what it's supposed to be. They're not used to seeing it, so maybe they don't recognize it. Before we get to the afterbirth, what was your thoughts on the match?
Like I said before, best thing I've seen Christopher Daniels in AEW. Thought it was great. 2 for 2, 2 excellent tag team matches. I think that the more AEW fans see of FTR, the more it becomes obvious these guys are the best tag team in wrestling by far. They are so smart in the ring. They're so smart at putting together a match. They know what to do. They always know where they are. They're great. I can't rave enough about them. And it's not just because they were on the Jim Cornette Experience. I've always felt this way.
The reason why they were on the Jim Cornette Experience is because we rave about them, not the other way around.
No, and you know, this is one of those things I'll say that's good about AEW. The handcuffs are off. In WWE, there's a lot more strict in terms of what they could do, how long they can go, what they have to do, how they have to wrestle. We're now getting to see these guys with the handcuffs off, and you're seeing just how good they are. And I think a lot of AEW fans, I've heard it from a few people, actually, a lot of AEW fans who, you know, would always say the Young Bucks are better. They're now seeing FTR and really watching them for the first time, and they're realizing, no, this is how you have tag team matches. This is a tag team. These guys are so good. But then there's the afterbirth.
Well, and there you go. And here's where and I will make one more statement. Yes, they're having great matches, but is this where it comes to an end? SCU is far and away the best in-ring tag team in AEW. So how can they top this match with, FTR top this match with lesser tag teams? We shall see. Possibly some people can learn to keep their ears open. However, I was excited about the promo here. Not only they won that match, but then they'd get to do a promo, and Dax's cardio must be fucking hellacious. After that match, he still did a nice wrestling promo calling out some tag teams and wanting to fight some people. Imagine that. That part was great. And then here we fall back to the amateur at Tony Khan's Amateur Hour. Again, Butcher and Blade are suddenly in FTR's truck. The new top heel team or top team has just won their second match on television, and a preliminary undercard team has stolen or commandeered their shit. I wrote, they've fucked this up already. And while they're mocking FTR because they've stolen their truck, the Lucha Brothers show up in the ring behind FTR. This is the worst thing that could possibly happen, because the Lucha Brothers are the preeminent tag team in Lucha Libre Wrestling, and they are at American Wrestling the drizzling fucking shits, and I can't contemplate how the fuck FTR could have a match with the Lucha Brothers at any point ever and it not suck, because the Lucha Brothers can't do American style and FTR should not be doing Lucha. So there's that. Then the Lucha Brothers beat up FTR and the Young Bucks save them while the other mid-card underneath heels steal FTR's truck. Well, here we go. It was a nice ride while it lasted. It's all downhill from here. I wrote, after 3 weeks, FTR are another tag team on the card, participating in stupid angles with mid-card tag teams. And hold on, it says Washington, D.C. 1 second. I'm voting for Biden. Trump can go suck me. There we go. That's all you need to know, Washington. Anyway, so the fuck? They can't help shooting themselves in the foot. They can't help fucking up every potential quality piece of talent they get a hold of. FTR's career after this angle, in my opinion, can be saved only by them going into business for themselves and potentially double-crossing somebody to get in a position where nobody can fuck with them and they can do whatever they want. Otherwise, if anybody from this booking team tells FTR that they're going to be wrestling at night so they should get a flashlight, I wouldn't even do that. I would not do a goddamn thing. I wouldn't eat if I was hungry if this creative brain trust told me to, because they have fucked everything up about every new potential intriguing or money-drawing talent that they could present so far. They have fucking dropped the fucking ball and shit the bed. Stole their truck, and the Young Bucks saved them from an ass kicking from a fucking preliminary team and somebody that they will never be able to have a fucking match with worth a shit.
I do think it's interesting that when the Butcher and the Blade wrestle, the one guy has the monocle, the other guy takes off the mask. They have kind of a demonic look. But when they're out of the ring, they've raided the wardrobe of Vic Tayback. I'm not sure what they're going for with that exactly.
Kiss my grits, that's Butcher right. And Blade. See, now everybody's going to be Googling that. They're like, how do they know these things?
FTR's matches have been fantastic. The way they've been booked is not the way I would have done it. Although, with my great success with my G.I. Joe Wrestling Federation, beyond that, I really don't have too much booking experience. But
well, it wouldn't have been the way that I would have done it either, and I've had actual booking experience and success.
Let me ask you one question for you. Obviously, I'm assuming that you feel like that you wouldn't have booked the interactions with the Young Bucks and FTR the way they have been booked by Tony Khan so far. But is there an argument to be made that you had to do something a little out of the box because there are no fans there? You don't want to waste this match that everyone's been waiting for?
Well, no, you don't know why. There's fans or no fans, empty arenas, fucking, meteor showers, whatever. No, they shouldn't have had the match yet. but they should have been making us want to see it more. FTR should come in and do what they're doing now as far as bell to bell, beat every fucking tag team in the territory, in the company, except the Young Bucks. And finally beat Adam Page and Kenny Olivier and win the belts. And then the Bucks have to fucking take control back of AEW, their company, their project, from these rogue renegades that ain't doing business with people. And I would have even put in a fucking working double cross. Maybe, you know, somebody like the Lucha Brothers, you want to keep a little fucking, you give them an out, right? Fucking let FTR fucking double cross. Maybe they were supposed to do the job, but they did a double cross, whatever the fuck, for a nod to the smart fans out there. But the point is, no, undefeated, get the belts. Young Bucks, the only one can save the company, and they don't do it the first time. That could take months if you did it right, but to just and keep FTR as outsiders, keep them. We don't care about any of these tag teams. So even yes, they would still be heels and they would wrestle exclusively at heels. You make the other teams adapt for them. If they wrestle another fucking heel team, that heel team becomes the baby faces. But they work it like that. Instead of just everybody just doing shit to each other for no reason, and who's cheating and who's not, we don't know. Build the fucking team, give them plenty of time to talk, give them plenty of wins, and then get them some heat. And just a raw fuck or a dastardly fucking beat down of an angle that they could believe, make those little pricks cough up some fucking blood. And then the people want to see the fucking match. And make sure through the whole thing that FTR is unsavory as possible, as insulting of the company, as plain spoken as possible, that they don't want to have anything to do with the rest of these jack-off, outlaw, cosplay bastards. They just came in to prove a point, and then they're going to fucking use that for leverage to go back and prove some points where they weren't able to before. Look down on the fucking company and the fans of it and everybody in it with disdain. Be outsiders. Be separate. Dress in a different locker room. Don't play ball with the kids. That's the image they ought to have. And they ought to go out there and fuck up the ass anybody gets in their way. God damn. Real life writes this shit and they can't even fucking do it. Here they are again. I'm fixed to toss this phone in a second. Wait a minute. Now it's the Health Council from Washington, D.C. Same area code. Hold on a second. I'm healthy. There we go. That's for the Health Council.